I have been in such a vlogging creative rut lately, but today I am back. Nothing to bring me back like Star Wars and the possibility of like a smidgen of a glimpse of a hope of PEDRO PASCAL. So the trailer for the Book of Boba Fett that's going to premiere on December 29th on Disney Plus actually dropped, I think it was yesterday, but I'm a little slow in the uptake. It was the first time I could actually sit down and talk about this. The trailer looks amazing, and that's not what I'm here to discuss, but I'm actually really excited for the Boba Fett show, even though I'm not really like a Boba Fett fangirl, but I love all Star Wars things, so very excited for it. It looks like it's the right amount of mix of nostalgia mixed with new stuff, and I love that, I'm going to butcher his name, Temuera Morrison, who plays Boba Fett, is actually bringing in a lot of his Maori culture to the role of Boba into the show, so I'm very excited to see that, but I'll discuss that later. Today, I'm going to actually talk to you a little bit about a voice clip only from 28 seconds into the trailer, and I'm going to play it here first, and I'm going to play it for you here in a second. The clip in question actually came up in a Discord group that I'm in, and we were all discussing on whether we think it's PEDRO PASCAL. PEDRO PASCAL, in case you don't know who he is, for some reason, if you've been living under a rock, is the Mandalorian. He's the one who is the Mandalorian. And if you don't, for some reason, know the Mandalorian, I'm not sure why you're watching this, but if you are, hi. He is also known for his role of Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones, and he's played Agent Whiskey in Kingsman's Secret Service and a whole slew of other roles. You should check him out. He's a phenomenal actor. It would be very interesting if they were going to use his voice. Now, I'm going to play the clip for you right here, and then I'm going to dive into it. I'm going to put on my headphones so I can listen right along, because
I know that you sit on the throne of your former employer.
So as you can hear, the line is, I know you sit on the throne of your former employer. And right before that, a few seconds before that, there is a line, I've heard otherwise, but to me, they sound almost like two different people. It could just be a different inflection. So the thought is, the Ithorian sitting in the chair, which is the alien guy that has the head that kind of comes out like this, and he's sitting in the chair and there's people moving around him when the line appears on the screen. So the Ithorians kind of have like these, this one actually specifically had a voice modulator, so we're assuming that he's translating his voice into basic, which is why you hear English instead of Ithorian. However, I didn't notice it before because I watched it on my television, but this time when I had my headphones in, you could hear right before the voice comes on, the voice in English, you can hear alien speech, which we're assuming is Ithorian's native tongue. And so this is obviously through a translator. Now, so many thoughts. That actually was pointed out to me from a Reddit thread, which I don't have the thread anymore, but it's from KVLT Master in one of the groups. I can't remember which one, but they did point out about the Ithorian, and I didn't hear it the first time, but actually listening to it right now is when I heard it. I said, oh, there it is. However, that voice sounds like PEDRO PASCAL. And to give her somebody who's listened to a lot of Mandalorian and a lot of Pedro's voice, it very much sounds like him. Now, of course, I could be wrong, because there are other, voice impersonators, but it, to me, would be very odd to choose somebody who sounds so close to the Mandalorian. Now, here's my theories. I'm putting this vlog out here for posterity's sake because I could be totally wrong, and y'all can come back after December 29th or whenever we actually hear that episode, because it's a trailer for the whole season. You guys can come back and totally call me out if I'm wrong. But there's a couple theories I've come up with on my own, not really obviously knowing where the shows are going to go. So if it is just Pedro lending his voice to that role of the Ithorian, that's kind of weird to me. And the only reason I'm saying that is how many actors are there out there that can do voice roles that you would pull in somebody who has a very distinct voice of a main character from one of your other shows. It's not like he's voicing a character on like the MCU and then you pull him in like, oh, well, I know his voice because that's Jon Snow. No, he's in this universe, like him and Boba have interacted. It's a whole thing. So to me, it would be very odd to choose him to just have him voice this Ithorian character. Although I love to just hear his voice. It just would be a very odd choice to me. My other theory is that it could actually be the Mandalorian, and the scene we're seeing is not necessarily what it looks like. And From that, I mean a bit of movie magic. Because a lot of times in trailers, there is a voiceover or things are kind of shifted around to not give away plot points. And we know that I'm going to use the Mandalorian as an example because Boba Fett hasn't come out, but we're going to use the Mandalorian in that they are very good at hiding things. They actually kept Grogu, the child, a complete secret. Like there was no merchandising, nothing came out about him, nobody leaked anything, nobody knew about it until they saw the very first episode, and we all died. And we all were like, Grogu! And they kept it a secret. They kept a lot of the stuff a secret, so they can do it. And I would not put it past them to give some misdirection. However, hearing the Ithorian's voice right before it would be kind of odd unless they're not going to go that direction. Like I said, it could be editing magic where it looks like it's the Ithorian's voice, but it really isn't. And why would they... Like, if I were in marketing, I would not show the Mandalorian on the very first, like, real trailer that I have out for a Boba Fett show. I wouldn't do that just because you want to market Boba Fett. Not saying I would never pull the Mandalorian in, but that would be like one of those secret things, you know, like a secret crossover thing that I would keep in the back of my head. But on that point, if it is, let's just go with the assumption that it's actually him voicing it and it's actually him voicing the Mandalorian. I had this discussion with a couple of people saying, well, if it is the Mandalorian, why is his voice not modulated? Like, it doesn't sound like he has a helmet on. At the end of season 2, Din takes off his helmet twice. Once when he's trying to find the information out about Grogu after Grogu was taken. He lifts his helmet off and tries to hack into the computer system. And then the second time is there in the room in front of Luke and Grogu. The point was to show it to Grogu, but show his face to Grogu, but in front of Luke and all of the other Mandalorians there, and Moff Gideon, and everybody is in Fennec. Everybody's there, right? So he's probably going to have to deal a lot with the fact that he essentially broke his creed. Now, I don't think that he's not ever going to be back in the helmet because marketing, merchandising, it's the Mandalorian, like he's gonna be in the helmet again. But I feel like there might be some, and like a Mandalorian season 3, if they decide to go that route, there might be a lot of him trying to figure out his way, because now he's met other Mandalorians who actually called him a zealot. They're like, you don't actually have to leave your helmet on 24/7. There is another way, etc., etc. So it'll be kind of interesting to see that inner turmoil with Din. However, bringing that back into Boba Fett, that's why I'm saying if his voice doesn't sound modulated, it could be one of those instances where he doesn't have his helmet on. As we see, Boba has his helmet on and off a lot in the trailer because he's not from Din's clan, or Din's creed, so that would make sense. However, it would be kind of interesting to pull in the Mandalorian for that. My opinion is that it is Pedro Pascal, but of course, I'm not there. I'm not him. A voice role would have been very easy for him to record because he's on location filming The Last of Us, and he was doing a couple other things like right before that. So a voice role would have been very easy to do. Even if it was just filmed purely for this trailer, which I wouldn't put past them too. Maybe that's the third one, is that they filmed it for the trailer and they're like, hey, let's just use either this guy that sounds really a lot like Pedro, or let's use Pedro and really screw with people. Because I wouldn't put it past them to do that, because that would be some very genius marketing, because everybody's kind of freaking out about it going, oh, is this Pedro? Is this Pedro? And that would be pretty cool. I did read somewhere that somebody said he was credited as Alien 1. Pedro Pascal was credited as Alien 1 in Boba Fett, and that they thought he was originally credited with Alien 1 when he was cast in The Mandalorian because they didn't want to give too much information away. So they're trying to link something there. And I haven't seen it myself. I kind of skimmed IMDb, but IMDb is only listing 3 actors on the show of Boba Fett right now, so it's not really super helpful. And if I find any more things out, I will make... I just realized that my lights are vibrating behind me. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to really figure out these lights. Anyway, I will have to dig around, and if I hear anything else, I'll probably talk about it on Twitter, or maybe I'll make an Instagram or a TikTok or something, which I have all of that linked down below if you're curious and want to follow me over there. But to sum it up, I think it'd be a very odd choice for them to use Pedro's voice for even a minor character, even if it's just, hey, this Ithorian character's here, he's just going to speak a few lines, let's use Pedro. That's a very odd choice. To me, it's a very odd choice because he's the main character of, let's face it, the most popular show, so that'd be very weird. I think it might actually be him, and whether or not it's actually for the Mandalorian being there, and so this is just kind of an editing trick, or if it was there for a misdirection on purpose. I don't know. And I'm very excited to see. I'm actually excited for Boba Fett. This next year coming up is going to be like the year of Star Wars, starting with Boba Fett. So I'm very excited about it. I've been a Star Wars fan since I was very little. And this is just making me excited for the franchise again, because I've had some feelings on the Star Wars franchise, and I might do a vlog on it, so I'm not going to get into it here. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night. That is my theory. I would love to hear what your theory is. If you listen to the clip here, if you already know what I'm talking about, if you think it's Pedro, if you don't think it's Pedro, what your theories are, leave them down below. I would love to have a discussion about that, because it's one of those things, right? You're not quite sure. You want to say yes, it is, but then you're like, oh, what if I'm wrong? Well, I guess we'll find out. Maybe not December 29th, but at some point after December 29th. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe. I have all my social media linked down below if you would like to follow me and see my ramblings. And I will see you guys next time. I'm not sure when that will be. I'm going to try streaming this week, but I had a lot of work projects come up and they have a lot of deadlines, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get to streaming this week. Hopefully some point this month, because I missed the month of October and Halloween is my favorite, and I didn't do a single thing for it, and I feel terrible. I did for my own personal, but not for my channel or my TikTok or anything, and I feel really bad about that. So I'm going to try to be better from here on out. I will see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.